I did not suspect anything at first. My wife said she was working late, again. Deadlines, meetings, last-minute projects, all normal, right? But one night, I stopped by her office to surprise her with dinner. And her coworkers looked at me like I was crazy. Because according to them, she had not been there in weeks. That's when I realized my wife was not just staying late at work. She was lying. And the truth behind those lies was something I never saw coming. My name is David. I am 35, and until last year I believed my marriage was solid. My wife, Olivia, and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. We met through mutual friends at a small house party. She had this easy laugh that made everyone around her relax. By the end of the night, we were sitting in the kitchen talking about music and travel like we did known each other forever. Olivia was ambitious, driven, and warm-hearted. She worked in marketing for a mid-sized company and genuinely loved what she did. One of the things I admired most about her was her dedication. She worked hard, cared about her team, and often talked about wanting to grow into leadership someday. Our life together was comfortable. We both worked full-time, split chores, had weekend routines. Friday takeout, Sunday grocery runs, occasional movie nights when we were not too tired. It was not flashy, but it felt safe. And I liked safe. About 6 months before everything fell apart, Olivia's schedule started changing. At first, it seemed like a good thing. She told me her company was taking on a big client. More responsibility, more meetings, bigger opportunities. I was proud of her. She started coming home later than usual. Sometimes 8 p.m. Sometimes 9. Once or twice, even later. Whenever I asked, she would sigh and say, "Just work chaos," and I had nod sympathetically. I had cooked dinner or order food and save her a plate. When she came home, she always looked tired but grateful. "Thanks for understanding," she would say, kissing my cheek. And I did understand. Or at least, I thought I did. The first time something felt off was small. Too small, really. One night, Olivia came home around. I asked how work was, and she said, "Long meeting with the new client. Total mess." The next day, I mentioned it casually while chatting with her over breakfast. "So did that client meeting get sorted out?" She blinked. "A what meeting?" "The one you had last night." There was a tiny pause. Then she laughed lightly. "Oh, right, yeah, sorry, I'm exhausted. All these meetings are blending together." It seemed harmless, but something about that pause stuck with me. After that, I started noticing other little inconsistencies. She would say she worked late with her manager, but then mention later that her manager was out sick that week. She would talk about finishing a presentation, but when I asked how it went, she would look confused for a moment before answering. None of it was big enough to confront her over. But together, it felt strange. Then came the phone behavior. Olivia had never been secretive with her phone before. We were not the type to check each other's devices, but we were open. If one of us needed to use the other's phone, it was not a big deal. But recently, she started keeping it close. Screen turned away, quickly locking it when messages came in. If I asked who texted, she would say, "Just work stuff." I told myself I was imagining things. People get busy. Stress makes you forgetful. Phones are private. I did not want to be that suspicious husband. Until one Thursday night. I had finished work early and decided to surprise her. She texted that she would be at the office until at least 9. So I grabbed her favorite takeout and drove to her workplace. I pictured her smiling when I showed up. Maybe we did eat together, then go home. But when I walked into the building, something felt off immediately. The reception area was quiet. Too quiet. I went up to her floor. Lights were on, but the office felt mostly empty. I saw one of her coworkers, Chris, packing up his bag. "Hey," I said, "is Olivia still here?" Chris frowned. "Is Olivia?" "Yeah, she texted me she's working late." He looked confused. She left the company about 3 weeks ago." My stomach dropped. "What?" Chris nodded slowly. She told everyone she was taking time off for personal reasons. Did not she tell you? For a moment, I could not speak. My ears were ringing. No, I whispered. I thanked him somehow and walked out in a daze. 3 weeks. She would been leaving the house every morning like normal. Coming home late. Talking about meetings. Deadlines. Clients. But she did not even work there anymore. As I sat in the car, staring at the takeout bag on the passenger seat, one question kept repeating in my head. If she was not at work, where was she? I did not confront her immediately. I needed to think. That night when Olivia came home around, she looked tired like usual. Long day, I asked carefully. She sighed. Don't even ask, back-to-back meetings. The lie came so easily. That hurt more than anything. I nodded quietly, pretending nothing was wrong. But inside, my chest felt tight. The next morning, after she left, I made a decision. I followed her. I hated doing it. It felt wrong, sneaky, distrustful. But I needed the truth. She drove like normal at first. Same route she used to take to work. Then, instead of turning toward her office, she kept going. 10 minutes later, she parked near a small cafe in another part of town. I watched from across the street, heart pounding. She got out, looked around briefly, then walked inside. A minute later, a man stood up from a table near the window. He smiled when he saw her. She smiled back. And then, they hugged. Not a quick, polite hug. A warm, familiar one. My stomach twisted painfully. I could not hear their conversation, but I watched them sit down. Talking, laughing, leaning in close. It did not look like a secret business meeting. It looked personal. I sat there frozen, mind racing. Was she cheating? Was this why she quit her job? Had this been happening for weeks? Or longer? I felt sick. After about an hour, they stood up. And then something unexpected happened. The man handed her a folder. She opened it, looked at the papers, and suddenly, she started crying. He reached across the table, holding her hands. Not romantic. Comforting. Concerned. She nodded, wiping her eyes. They hugged again briefly, then left in separate directions. I did not know what to think. This did not look like an affair. It looked like something else. That evening, I could not keep pretending. When Olivia came home, I was waiting in the living room. We need to talk, I said. She froze slightly. Okay. I took a deep breath. I went to your office yesterday, I said quietly. They told me you left 3 weeks ago. The color drained from her face. Silence filled the room. Then her eyes filled with tears. I can explain, she whispered. Please do. She sat down slowly, hands trembling. I did not want you to find out like this. Find out what? I asked softly. She took a shaky breath. I did not quit, she said. I was laid off. The words hung in the air. In what? It happened suddenly, she continued. Budget cuts, my whole team got reduced. I felt stunned. Why did not you tell me? Tears rolled down her cheeks. Because I was scared, she admitted. You have been working so hard, I did not want to add stress. I thought I'd find another job quickly and you would never have to worry. My chest tightened. So the late nights. I have been job hunting, she said. Interviews, networking meetings, that man, he's a recruiter helping me. Everything clicked into place. The folder, the tears, the secrecy. It was not an affair. It was fear. Still, one question lingered. Why lie? I asked quietly. You could have told me the truth. She looked at me with raw honesty. Because I felt like I failed, she whispered. Work was part of who I was. Losing it felt humiliating. I did not want you to look at me differently. That broke my heart. We talked for hours that night. Real conversation. No hiding. No pretending. I told her I was not upset she lost her job. I was hurt she felt she had to hide it from me. She admitted the lie got bigger each day. At first it was just, I will tell him tomorrow. Then tomorrow became next week. Then it felt too late to explain. Fear kept her silent. After that night things changed. She stopped pretending to go to work. We updated her resume together. I helped her practice interview answers. We tightened our budget and faced things as a team. 3 months later, Olivia landed a new job. Even better than the last one. But honestly, the biggest change was not the job. It was us. We started talking more openly about stress, fears, insecurities. Because sometimes the biggest lies don't come from betrayal. They come from someone being too scared to admit they are struggling. And once we faced that truth together, our marriage felt stronger than before. So tell me, if your partner lied about something this big, would you forgive them? Or would the trust be broken? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy emotional confession stories with real twists, don't forget to subscribe, because the next one might surprise you even more.